السلام عليكم طلاب صف ثاني. نكمل محاضرات الأنسجة, the histology of the endocrine system. In the previous lecture we talked about histology of the pituitary gland. Today we will talk about the histology of the thyroid and parathyroid glands. We all know that the thyroid gland is responsible for the secretion of T3, T4 and TSH, and if we study it histologically, it is covered by a dense, irregular, collagenous connective tissue which sends septa towards the gland. This septa is a conduit for the blood vessels and for the nerve fibers. Okay, inside the thyroid tissue we will find formation, يعني there will be accumulation of مثل ما تشوفوها بالصورة هنا colloids تكون بهالشكل هذا. Okay, على شكل follicles. These follicles are with a colloid material in the middle. هذا الcolloid represents the hormones T3 and T4. طبعا each colloid is efficient for us, يعني يكفينا أسابيع. يعني هذا الهرمونز اللي موجودة تكون بس يكون bounded to thyroglobulin protein in order to inactivate it. When it is released from it, it will become activated in the body. نرجع بالنسبة each thyroid follicle is formed by a lining epithelium. راح يتكون من a lining epithelium which are called the follicular cells. These follicular cells are cuboidal. We can find it tall cuboidal يعني when it is active, or low cuboidal. حتى قسم من الكتب يقول شوية squamous in inactive form. But these follicular cells are the cells which are responsible for the secretion of T3 and T4. But these are the follicular cells. Also من نجي the other type of cell, احنا قلنا بالأنسجة لازم نعرف شنو the cell of each gland or each structure we are studying about. So if we enumerate the cells of the thyroid, we said the follicular cell is number 1, and we have the parafollicular cells is the number 2. اللي هي other name يسموه the C cells, which are responsible for the secretion of calcitonin, which affects the calcium level in the blood. من عندنا كالسيوم عالي بالبلد stream يصير release of calcitonin in order to decrease concentration مالته. Also طبعا we have in between, we have the stroma موجودة with reticular fibers. In each organ عندي reticular fiber which is responsible for the structural framework of the organ, and we will find a lot of blood vessels. then احنا كنا متفقين إنه endocrine glands are heavy embedded with blood, لأنه أول تالي الهرمونز needs the blood as a conduit. The cells will be follicular and parafollicular. Although the parafollicular طبعا من تجين على each colloid من هنا موجود, هذه هي follicular cells. Where do you find the parafollicular? You will find it in between these follicles. يعني although the parafollicular are 2 to 3 times larger than the follicular cells, but it only represents 0.1% of the lining epithelial of these follicles. على الرغم من إنه حجمها كبير, لكن from the lining epithelium of each colloid راح تلقي 0.1% of it. So it is present in between these follicles. You will find the parafollicular cells. هذا a diagram to let you see how, يعني read it لأنه حتى حلو مؤشرين عليه وقايلين each side of it. Okay. شوف هنا يحاول يوضح لك إنه هذه هي البارافوليكولار cells, لكن هذه هي الفوليكولار cells الموجودة. So I have follicular cells and a parafollicular cells. متفقين إحنا بالأنسجة إنه the cellular constituent and the difference of the cells regarding the cell organelles is not for you. ما لا تدوخ نفسك بيها ولا تروح تقرأها. هذه صورة at a higher power of magnification power. You will find هذا هو follicular cells and these are the follicular cells. So when I said that it only represents 0.1% of the lining epithelium, I mean here يعني من تجين تبعين على lining epithelium هنا you will find it lined by the follicular cells. In parafollicular you will not find it here. Only 0.1% of the lining epithelium, although it is 2 to 3 times larger than that. Okay, this is regarding the thyroid gland. If we talk about the histology of the parathyroid, which are two pairs of glands present on the posterior aspect of the thyroid, it is responsible for the secretion of parathyroid hormone, which acts against the calcitonin. يعني ذاك decreases the level of calcitonin in the bloodstream. هذا عكسه تماما راح يشتغل. فمن تجين على السلايد اللي موجود احنا typically عندنا هيجي سلايد موجود بالمختبر you will found both structures. يعني هذا أبو الفوليكلز هو ترى the thyroid، هذا كله the thyroid، هذا هو the parathyroid. This is the parathyroid gland. If I come to the cell constituents of the parathyroid gland, it consists of two types of cells. One of them is called the chief cells and the other is called the oxyphil cells. الأوكسيفيل ترى هي اللي تشوفها أطوخ، لونها تكون أطوخ وتكون larger, darker in color, larger, and it represents the كأنما inactive phase of the chief cells. The chief cells are the cells mainly distributed, موجودة, more in number. It is responsible for the secretion of the parathyroid hormone. Okay, so we have the chief cells and the oxyphil cells. This is also the diagram which will show to you the both organs. يعني أبو الفوليكلز الثايرويد ترى يعني لازم من أول لوك لازم نقدر نميزه. الكولويد موجود arranged in follicles, and this is the parathyroid. وحلو باي دايجرام موضح لك إنه هذه هي الأوكسيفيل cells اللي هي تكون larger, darker in color, while this is the chief cells which are more in number, smaller in size, and it is responsible for the secretion of the hormone. This is a true slide. يعني هذا ذاك كان diagram، هذا باي slide حقيقي تشوفه بهالشكل. هذا جمال هيستو ترى حلو. This is regarding the histology of the thyroid, parathyroid. To continue the histology of the endocrine system, we will talk about also the histology of the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland, which is a gland present on the superior aspect of the kidney, bilateral, وعندنا right to left adrenal gland. It is also covered by a connective tissue, capsule dense irregular collagenous connective tissue, which sends septa inside in order to divide the gland into يعني يعتبر كconduit قلنا للبلد blood supply, conduit for the blood vessels to the organ. But when we come to adrenal gland, it is divided into two parts. Histologically, I have the cortex, the outer cortex, and the inner medulla. المدلة تكون darker in color, while the cortex will be yellowish in color تقريبا. نسبة الcortex to the medulla, I have about 80% of the gland is the cortex, while 20% of the gland is the medulla. أكو كتاب يقول 90/10، ما نختلف على هذا الشيء. المهم the cortex is the thicker. If we come to the cortex, we study it histologically. It is also divided into several regions. راح يصير عندنا from the outer